All right, it's 2 p.m. We're going to get started. I have my colleagues in here and they will let people in as they join. But we have a lot to cover today, so I want to make sure we get through everything in the allotted time slot. So we'll go ahead and start. So good afternoon to all the exhibitors for 2024. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here with us today. We prepared this presentation to provide you with everything you need to know about the PMEXPO this year leading up to the show and what you can expect. A special thank you goes out to our sponsor for this session, which is Ironmark. We'll hear later today from Deborah May, who is Ironmark's Senior Sales Rep with this presentation. So we also will hear from Chris Wilmot with Gates Hudson, who is PMEXPO's committee chair. And again, we will be recording this session and a PDF slide deck will be sent out to you following the session. If you have questions throughout the session, please share them in the chat and my colleagues Sarah, Candace, or Evelyn will be here to answer them. And we'll take breaks throughout to answer any questions as well. All right, before we dive into this presentation, I want to take a moment to thank our 2024 corporate sponsors. Thank you to our platinum sponsors, Inner Solutions, Residency Bureau, and Tepfer Construction. Our 2024 gold sponsors, American Pest, Brothers Paving and Concrete, Capital Canopies, ESSI Electronic Security Services, Hawkins Electric, JB Klein Landscaping, Minkoff Company, O'Connor Plumbing, Planned Companies, and Pothole Repair. And last but certainly not least, our silver sponsors, Berkshire, Donaldson, Finley Asphalt and Concrete, Arndorf and Spade, PC Richard and Son, Quest Insurance, Rain and Sun, Plumbing, Sandy Spring Bank, Thomasville Restoration, and TRC Engineering. All right, guys, we're going to dive into the PMEXPO 2024 schedule. So I'm excited to share this with you and highlight a few key points that reflect the PMEXPO committee's dedication to making this event both valuable to exhibitors and attendees. The group really worked hard this year to incorporate feedback from past events to ensure a fantastic experience for everyone. This year, we've designed a special floor plan that includes 2 classrooms right on the exhibit hall floor, making it easier for attendees to engage with both educational sessions and exhibitors throughout the day. The classrooms will be constructed with a combination of thick drape and hard walls in an effort to minimize the noise transfer. And if you can take a look at your screen, you'll see the schedule listed with times. The exhibitor registration opens bright and early at 8 a.m. and attendee registration opens at 9 a.m. So you can make the most of your day by arriving early, picking up your badge, and seeing the PMA staff back at the registration desk. And we'll also be on hand to answer any questions that you have throughout the day before you get set up for the exhibit hall opening. We understand the importance of educational opportunities when it comes to attracting property management professionals, which is why we've developed a variety of content appealing to people at all levels, from leasing agents, regional managers, and additionally to attract director level attendees and above. We'll host exclusive forums and meetups, creating ample opportunities to foster high-level discussions. As you can see, we have our first seminar of the day, which is Captains of Excellence, starting at 10 a.m. We're excited to present a panel discussion with industry leaders steering through property management industry challenges. This session is going to be a big hit. The community is really excited about this one, and we're hoping to attract many property management professionals to this. To ensure everyone is well fed, energized, breakfast concessions will be available from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and lunch concessions will be available from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. We'll see the exhibit hall floor plan a little later in the presentation, but on the exhibit hall floor, we have seatings for attendees to sit and relax and eat lunch right on the floor. Continuing on with the schedule, we have 2 other concurrent sessions that will be available in the afternoon. The committee was very thoughtful when it comes to scheduling this to give attendees of all job functions a reason to stay throughout the day. We'll encourage exhibitors to take a look at the educational lineup. The topics were selected based on property management professionals' biggest pain points. Consider if you offer products or services that relate to these challenges and be prepared to talk to them. The committee was thoughtful as well when it comes to scheduling and giving attendees of all job functions a reason to stay. So our goal with having these education sessions on the floor and concurrent throughout the day is to encourage attendees to stay through the duration of the event. And finally, our Passport to Prizes program is back this year by popular demand. This also helps attract attendees and encourages them to stay throughout the duration of the event. The prize drawing will take place at 3 p.m. and attendees must be present to win. As you can see as well, 3:30 is scheduled the exhibitor move-out. And we'll talk about the move-in and move-out schedule later as well. Another thing that's back this year is the PMEXPO Booth Awards. So to encourage your creativity, each year we award awards to select few exhibitors. We have a secret panel of judges on the floor that will be evaluating your presentation and engagement. The categories are as follows on the screen. We have Best in Show. This is the booth that has the best overall in each category. Best Display, the booth that has the most creative display that ties in the best with the theme of the show. Best Staffing, this is the staff that is engaging to attendees, dressed in theme and has great booth presence. And Best Promotional Item, this booth has the most creative giveaway prizes, engagement, promotions, and tchotchkes. The winner of these awards will appear at the MGM National Harbor and Casino in November for our annual PMA Awards. Registration for the PMA Awards is open, so we encourage you to register today. The last 2 years we've sold out, so it's best to register early. We'll add a link in the chat for you guys to register. Now I know this is what you guys have been waiting for. We're gonna get into a few venue logistics. This year, we have the PMEXPO back at the Prince George's Sports and Learning Complex. Some of you may have remembered it was here more than 10 years ago. Some of the aspects of the event will be familiar to most, but there are a lot of new and improved things. You can see on your screen now the floor plan for this year. The exhibit hall will be set up in the field house. On the day of the event, exhibitors and attendees will use the facility's front door entrance. Upon entering in the lobby, you'll see a set of glass doors that'll lead you to the field house. And you'll go down the stairs to the bottom right corner, and you'll see PMA's registration area set up there. That's where you'll pick up your badges in the morning. You'll also note on the floor plan the points of exits. There's 2 exits, double doors on the bottom right and the top left. You can see the classrooms as well set up at the back of the exhibit hall. Those are the 2 boxes in the back with the chairs set up in the boxes. So that's where the seminars will take place for attendees. You don't see here the bars and photo booths, but please be assured that those will be there the day of the event. We're working through logistics regarding concession stand placement as well. These may be on the floor or immediately upstairs. We have great news this year. Parking is free. The designated lots for exhibitors is going to be lot A. So when you drive up to the hill to the venue, there is a lot to the right. There are going to be signs, and there will also be parking attendants from the venue that'll help you guide you to lot A. You'll also find directions here as well. There are alternative directions available on the PG Sports and Learning Complex website, which I've linked on this slide. Attendees will be parking in the Commander's Field Red Zone lot. This lot is about a 10-minute walk to the venue. So we have hired a shuttle company that will be running every 15 minutes to get attendees to and from the lot to the front door of the venue. You can walk, but please be advised it's like a 10 to 11-minute walk. If the lot for exhibitors, lot A is full, exhibitor reps will be guided to park to the red zone lot. So keep that in mind. We want to encourage you to carpool as much as necessary to avoid capacity at this lot. Now, by now, I've sent most of you an instruction email, instruction welcome email, and it listed some nearby hotels that you can stay at. We don't have a room block this year, but I have been in contact with each of these hotels, and they've ensured that they have enough rooms for the week of our event. However, it will be football season, so please be aware that they may book up due to out-of-town guests that are here for games. The links here to book to the hotel rooms and the rates are listed as well. All these hotels are about a 5 to 8 minute drive from the venue. All right, we're about a quarter through the presentation. Does anybody have any questions about what we covered so far? You can put them in the chat or you can unmute yourselves and ask the question.
We haven't had any come through the chat. You've covered lots of great stuff. Any questions for Bianca before she moves on? I see Ronnie unmuted. What's up, Ronnie?
So I know you're going to be covering the move-in. I live relatively close to this place, but if I have to move in the day of the event, then I would be interested in getting a hotel. If I can move in the day before, I can just drive there the morning of. I need some setup time, is what I'm saying.
Yes, it depends on your booth content. So email me or call me after this and you can let me know a little bit more details about your setup.
And it looks like Patrick had the same question. And to add a little bit to that, so, you know, for example, Ronnie, if you're moving in and you have one box that you can easily come in the front door and carry down the stairs, then that's super easy and definitely doable. If you're going to need carts and help and all that jazz, we would really strongly encourage you to do it the day before.
Yes.
I guess my question was, will I have access the day before? That's my question.
Oh, yes, we'll have move-in.
You will.
That's when the majority, if not all, of the exhibitors will move in the day before. And we got lots of details on that.
Okay, then I won't need a hotel. I'll just come the day before, set up, and then I'll just drive there the morning of.
In the morning of, yep.
Okay, that's my question.
Cool.
And I know that we're going to get to this about the attendee list. So we'll wait just a minute, Patrick, to answer that one. Any other questions about what we've covered so far? You know, I feel like we didn't talk, maybe Deborah's talking about this, that the theme is Anchors Aweigh. We talked about, you know, the best booth awards and being fun and incorporating the theme, but just in case it's not obvious, the theme is a nautical one this year. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. But why don't you keep on going, Bianca?
All right, so now we're going to get into what's included and not included in your booth purchase. So on your screen now, you'll see everything that comes with your booth purchase. A major change this year is that there will be no on-site full-service production company. The production company is the company that PMA hires to lay carpet in the exhibit hall and set up your booths. In the past, this company you'll be able to order additional booth furnishings and you can ship your materials to the show in advance. But this year, we were actually unable to secure the production company's full on-site services just because the show is not in our traditional venue and it wasn't lucrative or cost effective for them or you. So this year we just have the standard booth options. So keep that in mind as you plan for your decorations, your booth, and then getting your items to and from the venue.
Before you jump ahead, if you could go back to that slide, that covers Patrick's question. We do provide the pre-event attendee list 2 weeks prior to the show, and then the post-event list will be made available to exhibitors upon completion of their exhibitor survey. Do note there is a time limit for that. We were asking, and I don't know what it is. Candace can chime in if she knows what that time limit is, but we're asking for feedback in a timely nature to make sure that you guys get your attendee list for your follow up in a timely fashion and that we get your feedback in a timely fashion.
Also note your booth reps. You get 4 booth reps when you register, but you can sign up more by visiting our website or reach out to Evelyn or myself and we can get them set up.
Bianca, I'm going to answer that question really quick in regards to the survey post event to get the final attendee list. The survey will be sent out at So 4:00 p.m. on that day, that survey is going to start rolling out. You have 1 week to complete the survey. If you wait 1 day post that week, if you wait to day 8, the survey will be closed. The attendee list will not be available. So please check your inboxes.
And we've had some questions come in about the flooring. So yes, we have the production company laying the same carpet that you're used to from PMEXPO for those of you who have exhibited before. The facility itself is an indoor track facility. So they will lay wall-to-wall carpet in the track facility. So you don't have to worry about that. And maybe the floors will be a little bit more comfortable for you rather than standing on concrete floors that you're used to in convention centers and things of that nature. We had a question about the tables. Will they be draped, Bianca?
Yes, but you can bring your own draping if necessary.
Awesome. And then Deborah has her hand politely raised.
Since we're not going to have the team there that day, like I never want chairs in my booth, and I'm usually folding them up and giving them to that crew that day. And I also don't like, I get the end booth and I don't like the railing, or if even like a tablecloth, a lot of people bring their own. Is there a way that we can tell you in advance if we don't want that? So 1, you aren't paying for it, and 2, we don't have to worry about finding a place to store it that day.
It comes with the package, but I can reach out to the production company and see if that's an option.
And Deborah, consider it noted for you. And we know that for you every year. We had a question about the lot that attendees park in. That lot is called the red zone lot.
The red zone lot, yes. And again, that's about, I timed it like an 8-minute walk to the venue. But we'll have the shuttle running every 15 minutes from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Are there any more questions in the chat?
Actually, Renee had one question. Renee, we've actually always had the process in place that you complete the survey. Someone from your team, if you have 10 people in your booth, we don't need 10 people to complete the survey. We'd like it because at the end of the day, everybody has different feelings on how the event went for them. But this is actually not a new process.
It's also not an in-depth survey. It's not something that will take a significant amount of your time.
All right, I'll move on to the items that are not included in your booth. As you'll see on the screen, electricity and Wi-Fi, it's critical that you purchase your Wi-Fi and electricity needs by August 30th. The venue is accustomed to hosting large sporting events and not trade shows and conventions, so they'll need ample time to provide this for us. So we have a hard cutoff date of August 30th. We're partnering with ATS again this year to provide lead retrieval services. A variety of their options are available, and I've linked the order form here in the presentation, and of course that'll be sent out to you guys as well. If you haven't already, let Evelyn know who your complimentary booth reps are. Let her know and she can get them registered for you, or again, the link in the previous slide, you can register them on the membership portal. Another big thing that's different this year is lunch. So to allow the greatest flexibility and ease, we've worked with the venue to set up concession stands in the field house that'll include breakfast and lunch items for purchase. The prices range between $5 and $13. The venue also has a separate cafe on site with a more expanded menu selection. I will send the concession menu out to all exhibitors in the next few weeks, along with other few reminders and information. And another note about food and beverage for your booth. So if you would like to have service at your booth for any food and beverage items, please contact me and I will have to get that contracted through the venue's catering coordinator. So if you do have plans to like set up like popcorn or hot dog stand or like beverages, you'll have to let me know. We'll have to get that approved through the venue.
We had some questions come through about Wi-Fi. So while we just covered that topic, we can jump in on it. There is public Wi-Fi, free public Wi-Fi in that venue that will be available to attendees and exhibitors if you choose to use it. However, it will likely be highly trafficked that day with a lot of folks in the facility. It is not like the Gaylord where they intentionally make it like a dead zone, like essentially like putting your phone in airplane mode so that they can sell you Wi-Fi. It's not like that, but I can't guarantee your connection on their public access.
Yeah, so
Any
if
other
you have,
questions before we move on? Any other questions about Wi-Fi? We had a couple people in the chat say that they've had good experiences with the Wi-Fi there.
oh, good. All right, the move-in schedule. This is for the day before the event, which is Tuesday, September 17th. You'll find the schedule on your screen here. Again, don't worry, I will send this out to everybody. This year, we want to keep the process for move-in as smooth as possible. So adhering to this schedule and your scheduled time based on your booth is highly recommended. The venue, they have a loading dock, but it's not quite a loading dock. So the parking is strictly enforced. So we can only fit a certain amount of cars back there at a time. So we created the schedule based on that. Sorry, hold on. To move out. So move out will be at 3:30, no earlier than 3:30 the day of the event. The venue will not allow exhibitors to stage their cars and trucks in the loading area until that time. So we want to make sure your booth is completely broken down by 3:30 the day of the event before you come out to the loading dock. I have a map here of the area, as you can see on your screen. We're using 2 sets of doors for the exhibitor move-in. So when you arrive on September 17th, you'll proceed to the back of the facility. There'll be parking staff from the venue on hand to guide you, and exhibitors will be directed to unload based on traffic flow and booth location. So the majority of our exhibitors utilize personal occupancy vehicles to bring their materials in for PMEXPO. If you are using a vehicle that's larger than a Sprinter van, please reach out to me at least 3 weeks prior to the event. This is not a problem. We just want to plan accordingly and make sure we have enough room for our vehicle in the back of the loading dock. So we'll have a moving company on hand to help you unload your materials and help you to your booth the day of the event. If you have just a single box or just a small amount of items, you can feel free to carry that in yourself. Our moving company will only have dollies and rolling carts, nothing like a forklift or anything this year, so keep that in mind when you purchase your booth items. PMA staff will also be on site to check you in at the doors and will provide a booth card to you for the movers to transport your items to your booth. And again, these detailed instructions will be sent out to you prior to the event, at least 3 weeks prior to the event. All right, I know we might have some questions about exhibitor move-in. So before I turn the slideshow over to Deborah, does anybody have any questions, particularly in regards to the move-in and move-out process? Even if it's in the chat.
Nothing's come through in the chat.
No.
I'm surprised.
I'm surprised.
Oh, we got a question about the approximate attendee count. I think we're striving for around 700 or so attendees, 700 to 800. As we near the event, a few weeks before, we'll have a more accurate count, but that's the goal.
All right. All right, so now I'm going to turn the presentation over to Deborah May, Senior Sales Executive for Ironmark. And thank you again for sponsoring this orientation today.
Thanks, Bianca. Hello, everybody. I think I know a good amount of you on this call, so hello to all my friends. So I've been personally doing this show for 18 years with Ironmark and the former company, Millennium Marketing Solutions, that bought us. So my goal today is to kind of let you know how I can help you and give you some tips on preparing for the show. So things that I can help you with are from trade show booth, banners, tablecloths, counters, promotional products, printed materials, and interactive and games. You know, you want to kind of have an idea of what your budget is, but you can get, you know, low item, you know, displays. Some people like to get things just for the theme for the event. So maybe you want to get a less expensive, you know, banner that you're only going to use for this one-time event. So, you know, just, you want to figure out, are you going to try and use this display for 3 years, you know, for five times a year? So keeping that in mind when you're making the investment of what type of display you want to get. A lot of times people get a generic backdrop and they might do a retractable banner that's specific to for people at PMA. As far as, you know, when you're picking your items, you want to pick items that you can not only use at a 10x10 booth, but you may be able to use at other events. For instance, the flags, as you can see, I think this might even been, that was probably the convention center, some of the flags in the bottom left-hand picture, but you can also use those at golf tournaments. You can use them at, you know, events that you're having for your company or at your office, and just changing out the graphics on them or having a few of them, the tents. I love the pop-up counters like you see on the right with the Millennium. You can put that at the front of your booth. It puts you kind of eye level with everybody, but I use that all the time at golf courses where I'm sponsoring a hole. Keep in mind too that when you're ordering, sometimes you might do a 10x10 booth. Sometimes you may have a 10x20 booth. Sometimes it might be a tabletop. So keep in mind when you're ordering the different products, what you might be able to use for other items as well. This bottom one here with ERIT, you know, that tabletop display, they could use as a tabletop as an 8-foot, but they spread it out and had a 20-foot booth. So they added their flag, added a banner, and even brought in a chair to match what was in the graphics on their display. So it's kind of, you know, making it universal for what you can use it for. We do a lot of 40x40 booths for larger clients at larger shows. So what I'm mainly talking about is what you could use for a 10x10 or 10x20. Obviously, we want to encourage you to have something interactive to encourage people to want to stop by your booth. Obviously, the wheels, the Plinko, things, you know, have been around for a long time. There's all different types of golf things that you can brand, but just keeping things that are going along with the theme. Like I thought about even the ring game, you know, is something you might see, or all different types of photo ops. So the photo ops can be the frames. It could be your main display. And I put these little ducks in here. I think there was a plumbing company that used to give away ducks, but just having some type of game. I was trying to bring this into nautical and different things that you could do. Obviously, when you're thinking of cruises, even like casinos, you could do some type of casino thing. You know, there's only so much I can put on one slide, but also QR codes are a great way for you to gather information and encourage activity. So having somebody go in and hit a QR code and filling out a form, if it's, you know, doing something towards a prize, that automatically you can answer questions and get them to fill that out as part of a question. So when you're doing this too, obviously with the wheel, you can have different level prizes, big, small, middle, a little, but you can also on the ducks, when they pick up the duck, you could have an X on the bottom. Maybe someone gets $100. You could have $25 ones and different things. So having it where more than one person wins is a way to do it as well. But I've seen so many different things out there, but anything you can do interactive your booth to encourage everyone to stop by. Of course, later, Candace will also be talking about some of the sponsorships that way they have to come by to win a prize, but games always work. Bianca, can I show my screen? Because I think there's a slide missing. There was a promo one, where I had the promo products. Is it on yours?
It's not.
Deborah,
Okay.
you can share your screen now.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can bring it up real quick. I think I just realized it's just when you're thinking about the theme, PMA slides. For your giveaways, let's see here.
Are you able to share?
Did you give me the capability to share? Share screen, here we go.
It should be.
Yeah.
Okay, can everybody see that?
No.
No.
Oh,
Something's coming. Yep.
okay, perfect. Okay. So when you're doing your giveaways, you can do something that's specific, you know, to the theme. So these are some ideas for the Anchors Aweigh. There's all different types of floatable keychains. This is just one of them here. You can get the rings, you can get the foam ones, the bracelets. I also thought anything you do with a compass kind of goes along with a cruise. There's all different types of waterproof bags, from these water bags to the pouches. Luggage tags, again, so many different styles, stress relievers, sunglasses, and then kind of some boat bags. But promotional products, again, if you're doing something like a wheel, you could have one or two theme things, and you can use maybe something you already have as leftover as like the third prize. Some people like to get kind of the inexpensive, the dollar type giveaway, and they might have a second giveaway you kind of keep under the table, maybe for your existing clients or some VIPs. So you have something nicer to give away for that to them. If I do know, again, I work with a lot of the vendors at this show. If I do know that somebody else is giving something away, I will be honest to tell you, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna sell it to you, but I try to encourage that, hey, so-and-so just bought that, you might want to pick something else. So I try and, again, I just be honest and be fair to everybody. In that, but there's just so many different things that you can do with promotions. These were just some ideas for the theme for this year.
I like the little cruise ship stress ball.
Oh, sorry, I just stopped sharing.
No,
So you can take it back.
I like that. That was a nice one. All right, let me open back up. All right, can everybody see my screen again?
Yep.
Let's see. All right, thank you, Deborah. I did include Deborah's contact information in the slides as well. So if you need to reach out to her, her information will be there. And again, thank you for sponsoring this session today. So now I will, Now I'll return the presentation over to Chris Wilmot, who is the Regional Vice President of Gates Hudson and also the Chair of PMA's PMEXPO Committee.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Thank you for having me. Flip over. Awesome. So please excuse the cheesiness here, but I needed to put something together. So try to make it as easy as possible, no pun intended. So this is kind of phonetically put together. So the goal here, somebody had asked earlier what the approximate attendee count is. One of the things that we're really focused on this year is offering these educational seminars that we think are not just relevant, but also give kind of the why behind attendees, missing a day of work, right? And so myself as an operator on my end of things, I kind of asked the question on the front side of this, like, what is the reason that it's worth me having, my team leave work for a day to go and presumably, attend this event. And so we wanted to provide a bit more robust offerings as far as our educational stuff to get them in the door. So I've been, kind of calling it the if you build it, they will come model, with the idea being that the more buzz we can generate behind some of the educational offerings and the more, the greater attendee that'll transfer to as far as, folks coming to see you guys. So we're really excited about it. We think we've put together some pretty cool stuff. We would encourage everyone to try to, peruse the information and see if there are opportunities for you to kind of tie your product knowledge and offerings into the educational, content. You figure they will have just walked out of a room for 45 minutes where somebody was telling them how much, this was an important thing. So if you can tie the importance of your product to that, I think it really is a concrete way to, to get buy-in. So that was the quick thing. As far as the can be fun and easy part of this. So E stands for engage. So just making sure that you have appropriate staffing to have someone available to draw folks to your table. and ensure that you are keeping conversations brief, but also impactful. There are a lot of vendors, and many of the PM property management attendees will be looking to maximize their experience by meeting as many folks as they can. I promise you that less is more here. So, you're given 4 seats, have 4, buy 4 more, pack your booth. I don't know if they'll sell you 4 more, but buy more. Pack your booth, make sure you have appropriate staffing levels to be able to get folks as they're coming through. Being someone that recalls their first expo as a property management professional, I can tell you that it is a bit overwhelming. And so having somebody there, they may not be readily interested in walking up to your booth. So having somebody there that's free, that has a friendly face, able to just say hi, could be enough to get them to swing on by. I call it a showstopper. All right, we can flip it. So the A is ask questions. Every property management professional is going to have a different role and responsibility. Some of them may not even be site level employees. Some of them may be recruiters or some other tie-in to the industry. They're going to have different roles and responsibilities. By determining their role in the organization as well as what their needs are, meaning when are budgets due, when are they taking final proposals for capital improvement or other contracted services, you can make the connection and secure the contact for follow-up. So, and maybe you're speaking to a leasing professional and they, are aware of a need at the asset, but they might not be the right person to talk to. So, asking those questions on the front end can kind of cut a lot of the noise out of the conversation and allow you to really focus on building that relationship. So, keep it moving. All right. So S is set up for success. Phone call. Everyone likes cool stuff and a fun concept. So when picking out your tchotchkes or selecting your theme, take your time and think about what will be a showstopper. Really go all in on originality with costumes or thematic pops, and you will stand out. A nice touch is something that allows them to play a game, leave with a personalized gift, or create a memory. That picture that they hang in their office that conveniently has your logo on the corner will outlast a business card 10 times out of 10. So I think Deborah conveniently touched on this right for me. So I'll lean into that. I think that having a game, having some type of interaction that is just a little more engaging than maybe just here's a card, creates a memory, and certainly something that can be, if on my desk, that's a dog cleanup company gave me this. It sits on my desk, right? It has their information on the bottom. I love it. I have the same thing, So having something that's fun and that is memorable will, they're going to talk to presumably 100 folks that day. You want to be the person that, that stands out the most. And then why? In that same vein, you only get one first impression. So make it a great one. Remember that our industry is small, and while you may not immediately do business with a property management professional, the relationship will last through their development. So I'm a regional vice president. I have vendors to this day that I still use that I met while I was a leasing professional that took the time to introduce themselves and checked in with me throughout my development of my career. So asking questions, figuring out where they are, and then if it is a leasing professional or it is a maybe a porter. Those are going to be, tomorrow's decision makers, right? And so, not writing them off, making sure you give them a moment of your time, and then continuing to build that relationship down the line. Those things have real staying power. I can't imagine anyone has any questions, but if you did, please let me know.
Those are great tips, Chris, and everybody. That's really valuable information from someone from the other side of things on the membership. So taking those tips and making it easy, you'll keep those in mind as you plan for the show.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody. And I appreciate y'all committing to the event. We really appreciate it.
All right. So now we'll have.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
I like Chris's idea of tying whatever material we have to the sessions that are going on throughout the day. Will you all share like a list of topics with us in case we do want to do something like that?
I would, yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I just included a link in the chat that links to the general agenda. And then shortly we'll have specific descriptions of those seminars available online as well.
Yeah, and just a quick note on that, and I'll be quiet because this will turn into 20 minutes of me talking. I'm super pumped about this event. We are trying to be very thoughtful to invite speakers from a variety of different organizations, you know, folks from all different levels. So we have stuff that is specifically for service professionals. We have stuff that specifically speaks to executive levels and regional level and you know, property manager level. So the goal here is to get you guys a very wide cross section. We even have stuff for, you know, recruiting teams, marketing teams. So the goal is to get you a wide cross section of everyone that you know, the DMV has to offer in the property management capacity.
Awesome. Any more questions before we move back on? I will have an opportunity shortly to open the floor for questions for the presentation. But I want to touch quickly on sponsorship opportunities that we have available. There are a wide range of sponsorships available starting at just $600 for anybody to meet their budget needs in marketing objectives. So I'm sure you all know Candace Dwyer. Please reach out to her if you're interested for more information, and her information can be found on this slide. Speaking of sponsorships, that brings me to another opportunity that has been a staple at PMEXPO over the years. This year, the game will be similar to last year's player weighted prizes, but this year we're doing passport to prizes. The component of this sponsorship is to provide a reason for attendees to go to the sponsor's booth while providing a fair and equal opportunity for attendees to win big prizes. So this encourages attendees to explore the entire exhibit hall and stay till the end, because you must be present to win at the end of the event. So now I'll turn the presentation over to Evelyn, who is PMA's Membership Marketing and Events Coordinator, to tell you all about the power of social media and how you can update your exhibitor listing.
Hi there. So this year we have a nautical themed media kit for you all. We will be setting this small banner that you see here along with a bigger banner in this in the orientation email later today. Yeah,
This is the bigger banner.
Yeah, that's the bigger one. And please check your junk and spam inbox. Feel free to use the banners in your email signatures, on social media, on your website to let customers know where to find you on October 17th. I will also be posting on our social media, on all of our social medias, and they're going to be rolling out in September 17th. Sorry.
Yeah. If you see those on our social media, please like
and share,
repost. We'll give you these banners in a blank form so you can add your logo. And then the larger one as well, you can use that bigger area to promote any prizes or giveaways at your booth. This really helps draw attendees to the event and they can know where to find you. So add any images or phrases that'll catch people's attention. I do have a great example from one of our exhibitors from last year linked in here. So if you can, please take a look at that when I send the slides out, and that'll give you an idea of how you can use these graphics for your social media.
And then for your exhibitor listing, please double check to see if your exhibitor listing is correct. I will be sending out a link shortly with with your
I know her power
blog
went out,
exhibitor
guys.
email.
Sorry.
Please note that only the primary contact and those with management access can edit the exhibitor listing through their member compass. So please reach out to me just if you need management access to edit your exhibitor listing. So this year we are rolling out our new SMS system. Please use this QR code to opt in so you don't miss any updates that we have about PMEXPO, such as any updates with the move-in, move-out schedule, and much more.
One quick note about this while it's up on your screen, we are starting to use SMS for communication more frequently in the association, but I promise you, we won't inundate you with text messaging. It will really be for time sensitive and critical updates and keeping you abreast of, upcoming events that are time sensitive and things of that nature. So I do encourage you to get on our our SMS distribution list. We've had a power surge in the office. We're all, I think, maybe losing it. Candace is our saving grace. She's working remotely today, so she's keeping us all going.
Here for you guys.
I just I know there's a lot more people on here that were on the associates call, but when Evelyn talked about double checking your profile for the expo, definitely go in and check your profile in general for your company on PMEXPO, because they're starting to do a lot more with promoting companies by their services. And I personally had to go in and buy 6 more categories, and they're only $25 to add an additional category. So I didn't realize there were some new ones added. So double check it all.
Yes, and any logos, bios, photos you need to add as well.
You can also add employees, remove employees that are no longer with your company, and much more. And then next slide.
Well, that's it. That was a lot of information. So I'm sure you guys have some burning questions for us. So we'll open the floor for those. And we'll check the chat as well for questions. I know y'all got some questions.
None have come
Bianca,
through in
can
the chat.
you take it back to the QR code while we facilitate any questions? I'm actually seeing them roll through, and I have a feeling that some people haven't quite had a chance to scan it yet. So it's up there, gang. And you can.
I'll leave it on the slide. Perfect.
Adrian has a question in the chat.
Adrian, why don't you tell us how they can get more involved? I was just saying that we didn't do a great job in shouting out both of our committee leaders. Well, Chris is certainly the captain. He has a vice chair in Adrian Gracias with Tri-State Restoration. She's been heavily involved behind the scenes, and I'm going to put her on the spot to encourage you to get involved on the Expo committee.
Yes, please.
Yes.
We need more people, more ideas, more feedback. So everybody that's on this call, Bianca, when's our next meeting?
Next month, the second Thursday.
I just put the link in the chat for you, Adrian.
Perfect.
Oh, you're amazing. Thanks, Candace.
Now she's just showing off.
So I encourage everybody on this call, please join us for the next committee meeting. You'll get to hear a lot more about Expo.
Yes.
You'll learn a lot more about how you can get involved, and you can share some great ideas with the group.
Thank you, Adrian. Yes, please. We meet on the second Thursday of each month. So next month, of course, the event is coming up on us really quickly. So we have about a couple more meetings before the next event. So we'll start talking about narrowing down sponsorship opportunities, registration, outreach efforts, volunteer opportunities for event day as well.
When it comes to Passport to Prizes, Candace is your person you want to go to make sure that you've purchased the Passport to Prizes program. It's a great way to engage with folks. We also do encourage people who do that program to make it fun and make attendees work for their stamp, if you will. Make them answer a trivia question, play a game, do something rather than just coming up with you to get their thing stamped. That way you can guarantee that you'll have some conversations with folks as they visit your booth.
I actually had a question.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. I joined kind of late, but actually it was in reference to the Passport to Prizes program. So are we supposed to have our prize that we're giving away at the end at our booth, or is it like one of those giveaways at the end? They bring their bingo, and then whoever's giving away prizes stands up at the front. Like, how does it gonna work?
It's actually a little different than what you're imagining. So we, the association, purchases the prizes. So folks are getting their passport stamped, and then when they do, they turn it in with their information. And then at the conclusion of the event, we'll do a drawing and award our prizes that we've purchased. So we typically, we've done like a big monetary award and several, kind of high dollar prizes and things of that nature. So you don't need to have a prize. If you wanted to do your own raffle, you would collect information and you would connect with the person after the event. We don't do the announcements for other exhibitors from our podium, if you will.
And I'm going to add to that because Jennifer, really quick, she's on the same track as you, AJ. So the stamps, Jennifer, are provided by PMA as well.
Yes.
So we just need you guys, for the sponsors of the passport for prizes, to be present, and we'll put the stamps in your hand. And then now that part answers that question. What'll happen is that attendee has the card. They'll hand you their passport, and you stamp that card. If you can imagine that, like a passport.
Like a passport, yeah. And we'll provide your stamp with your logo.
And you can keep the stamp.
Yeah.
If you sign up in time. If you sign up at the last minute, well, you'll get some sort of unique stamp.
Indeed. And keep in mind that sponsorship is limited, 100% limited. It is first come, first serve. I'll put the link in the chat. Let me get that for you really quick here.
What's the rate for that one, Candace?
$600.
Great questions.
How many more do we have available?
Well, we see we had 2 more that were purchased today. I am guesstimating, but only because I haven't had a chance to do those numbers, but I believe there's only 25 remaining. All right, I'm putting the link in the chat right now, and let me make sure that, but before I put it in the chat, when you click on it, if you are not logged into your PMA account, you will be taken to a blank page. You have to be logged in because it acknowledges that you're an exhibitor. You cannot be a part of the passport for prizes unless, of course, you are an exhibitor. So therefore, we have to make sure that we lock down those sponsorships to ensure people aren't confused about the purpose, about the purpose. So here we go, guys. It's going to the chat. Just in case you say, hey, I don't see it. That's because you're not logged in. And all right, I'm ready for the questions.
Thanks, Candace.
Any other questions for us about Expo? All right, so I think the most critical things were just that you make sure that you buy your internet and your electricity in advance, keeping in mind that the venue is not a typical convention center. It's a little bit more tricky for them to set those things up. So we want to make sure that we have plenty of advance notice. And same thing with your booth furnishings. You plan accordingly. If you need anything more than tables and chairs, and Deborah, I know you don't need chairs, so we'll take care of that. Yeah, just keeping in mind it's a unique venue. So it's not something that does events like this every day. So we won't have, easy things that an easel. I won't have an easel in my back pocket. They don't have those there. So just keep that in mind as you're preparing. That while I'd love to be Inspector Gadget on site and solve all of your problems really easily, it'll be more challenging. So think things through. And we're super excited.
Maybe this question was answered already, but I'm just scrolling through the chat now. And I see a question about a hotspot in the venue, if you can use that. If you just are going to use standard like phone service, but if you have like a demo at your booth, something that needs like high powered Wi-Fi, it would probably be best to purchase it because as Sarah said earlier, if we have high traffic that day, we can't guarantee that the Wi-Fi will be stable.
All right, Expo Committee, who can think of a good nautical pun to close us off? We're going to pull up our anchor and sail away for the rest of the day.
Anchors away.
I was thinking, come on, Hillary, you've been getting us here lately.
How about we'll see you at the next port, which is lobster bait.